So I'm Josh, and you are.
I'm Dad.
You're Dad.
No, I'm Dave Johnson.
One thing that we have in common, besides being related, is we both enjoy coffee.
Yes. Say, what's more amazing than the subject of coffee?
Yeah. What do you like about coffee?
I just enjoy. I look forward to it when I'm sleeping and wake up in the morning and go, I get to go have coffee. I mean, it's so good. It's not like every cup of coffee is good. I mean, there's a lot of times I've gone to restaurants and I just say I can't drink it because it's just not good coffee. I like good coffee. I have to admit, I make the best coffee as far as I'm concerned.
And your enjoyment of coffee made me interested. I had my own journey into coffee. And I enjoy a good cup of coffee, but I also really enjoy learning about where coffee comes from, the story of where it's grown, how different soils produce different tasting coffees, the communities that have become the caretakers of the growing regions and the farmers, and just interested in those stories as well, how coffee comes to us. And for me, that constant search for the next good cup of coffee is exciting. The coffee is 41 and change. So this is them, and we got the 2 roasts. We got the Summit, it's a blend. And then this here I got for Dad, a dark roast. One thing that is missing from here that I enjoy having on my bags of coffee is there's no best by date or roasted on date. So I do appreciate that on my bags of coffee. All right. So what I'd like to do is, let's open these up. I haven't opened them yet. Now, if you go to the grocery store, sometimes you'll see a bag of coffee, you kind of squeeze it and you get the smell out of the little one-way valve on the back of it. Coffee, after it's roasted, is releasing gases and they kind of build up. You get a nice smell when you open it up. So I'm kind of curious, I don't feel a lot of extra space in here. Can you smell anything coming out of yours?
Nope.
Yeah, so I don't know if this was just roasted so recently that it hasn't had a chance to really build up, or if it's roasted maybe a little bit longer ago. I'm not sure, but let's go ahead and open them.
There it is.
Yeah?
Yeah. I know my wife loves the smell of coffee, but the coffee is a little bit too strong for her stomach, and so but she loves the smell.
It's very, very light, which light roasts don't always have the same.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think?
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, the first smell after you open it up is always a lot more powerful.
It's that little invitation to brew. How are you brewing coffee these days that produces you the cup of coffee that you look forward to when you go to sleep?
Well, I think it's always important to grind your beans just before you brew your coffee.
So you got a grinder.
Mm-hmm. It's a Burr grinder.
Burr grinder, and then you have kind of one of those machines that we'll see a little bit in a second, but. You can do a K-cup, but you can also do a single serving of ground coffee. So it brews 1 cup at a time for you. Mm-hmm. For me, I weigh my water, so I've got a scale along, and I do 300 grams of water to 20 grams of coffee. I have a Gooseneck kettle that I put my water into, filtered water. We both like to use filtered water. And I'll boil that water, and then I'll pour it over. And I have a Kalita brewer that you'll see. Put my coffee into there, use my pour over kettle, and brew into my mugs. All right, well, let's go ahead and brew these, and then we'll meet back here and enjoy our cup of Summit Light Roast Blend for me, and you have the La Finca Limited Dark Roast Variety.
Yeah, I wonder what La Finca means. Whatever that is.
Okay, we are back with our cups of coffee. Funny thing happened. I didn't even realize it until at the end. My dad says, "Hey, did you mean to brew the dark roast?" No, I meant to brew the light roast. but I brewed the dark roast instead. So this will be interesting because I'm not a dark roast person. And you got the Grandkid cup, so some good looking kids there.
It's all worth it.
Yeah.
That's good.
I actually like that. I'm not a dark roast drinker.
Next time I make a cup of coffee of this, I probably would use more grounds because it's not as bold as I like.
Measuring by volume and measuring by weight. Right. With both of those, you kind of tweak a little bit. So you've dialed in how you like your other coffee. This one, the 41 and change La Finca, you're going to get to play with it a little bit more.
Yeah.
I was skeptical because usually when I brew, and maybe you saw a little bit on the camera, usually when you do the first pour, you do a little pour and then you bloom it. And that gives a chance for any gases that are still in the beans to escape, and usually the coffee bed will rise a little bit, almost like a little balloon. And that wasn't happening, so I was like, boy, I wonder if how freshly roasted this is.
The other thing is, I know that bolder coffee does, I would think the properties of bolder coffee might be different too in that bloom.
You're right. I don't normally brew dark roast, so maybe there's less of it. So I will do another round after I enter this cup. Now, some of the coffee guys that I watch, they will talk about how sometimes the flavor of a cup of coffee changes as it cools down. And sometimes when they're tasting coffee, they actually wait for it to cool down, that they'll get a better sense of the flavors in that bean. Does your coffee ever get a chance to cool down?
Oh yeah. Because it depends on if I'm reading or something like that. Then as I go down the cup, it does cool down a little bit. Do I notice a change in taste? I'm not sure. Yeah, doesn't ring a bell that I go, oh yeah, there's more of a taste, But I can see what you're saying, and it could be true. Yeah.
What that I think released me from is I used to have this sense of I gotta keep my coffee piping hot, and if I'm not drinking it fast, then maybe I should get a thermal mug, or maybe I should invest in one of those Embers that has the battery-powered temperature control thing. But when I heard some smart coffee guy say, you know what, actually, sometimes it's nice to taste coffee when it cools down a little bit. I thought, well, okay, from start to finish, I can call that a legitimate coffee experience.
As long as it's not cold.
Right? You don't like cold coffee?
I don't like cold coffee, but it's not something that you would sit and enjoy, and that's what I like about coffee, to be able to sit and enjoy. I liked when it said there on the back, it says, a good cup of coffee calls for conversation with a friend or a pause for personal reflection. You can't do that with cold roast.
We did the light roast, the Summit light roast blend. It did actually do, in the blooming phase, it did do what I'm used to. And so that does remind me that dark roast and light roast, in the roasting process, more is baked out of it. So there's less gases to retain. So since I got to have some of the dark roast, we're going to sample the light roast together. Lighter.
Yeah. Now I already could just say, initially, I like the bold better.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And I need another sip to get to know it a bit better. Yeah, I like it. I think it's what I expect of a light roast. It invites me to get to know it a little bit better, And so I look forward to have a bag to get through. Now, would I say I like the light roast over the dark roast? Right now, I'm not sure, and that surprises me.
To me, I guess, I don't know how to describe exactly, but the lighter roast seems like there's more elements to the taste, whereas I like just the overpowering coffee.
Yeah, I am coffee.
Yeah. And so that's what I get from the bold. Whenever I have the lighter roast, which I've had, I'll take a lighter roast once in a while, but there's always it's like, okay, there's other stuff in there that's not what I think of as what I want from coffee. And so
I don't know if this is appropriate to do with a cup of coffee.
It's appropriate always. It's part of the conversation. Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining me on this coffee review, and
thanks for the coffee.
And if you're curious about the 41 and change, I'll leave links in the notes below, and so you can connect with them and order a bag for yourself or learn about Young Life and the work that they do. I enjoyed that when I ordered this. It'll show you can pick if there's a local Young Life club near you that you want to support. You can choose them. So I'm getting coffee at a pretty fair rate for specialty coffee, but I can see this much is going to the program in Nicaragua, and this much is going to Rogue River Young Life, the club that I chose. So that's a cool thing. I like it when businesses think of creative ways to share good quality products and then to also connect it with a nonprofit or a good thing that's happening in the community. So
it's a heck of a big sale.
Alrighty, that's it.